First of all, after the election, the country was going smoothly for about 6 months. After that came COVID. With COVID, it hit us hard. The tourism industry collapsed completely, almost completely, and the expatriate remittances to Sri Lanka dropped also consistently because many of the expatriates came back. They had no jobs in those countries and they came back. So there was a drop in the economic, what you call, payments that were coming into Sri Lanka. Then also there was this huge debt that successive governments had collected or inherited over the past so many decades, and with big projects, borrowings from various banks for these big projects like super highways and things like that, and there is allegation of corruption where these big monies came in, that some of the people connected to the government and some of the family members of the Rajapaksa family, that they have taken commissions from these contractors and various other people to whom these projects were given. So there was a huge debt problem. To pay that debt, Sri Lanka did not have the means, that means the income. Our economy is agrarian economy. Then what this president did was a very, how do you say, irrational thing, to stop all fertilizer coming into Sri Lanka. So there was no fertilizer available. Therefore, it hit hard the agriculture industry like farming and so on. It hit hard, and it sort of hit at the production of food for the Sri Lankans, especially rice and so on. The farmers, they couldn't do anything. All of a sudden, like a thunderbolt, the decision made by the president, and he was not willing to go back. However much they protested, he was not willing to go back, and so on. And therefore, it completely destroyed the agrarian economy. Therefore, we had to import things from overseas. Again, you needed more money, so more dependence. And then, of course, there is this war that erupted in Russia and with the Ukraine, and the price of petrol and oil shot up, and the government had no money to buy the oil and the petrol and all that to give energy to the people. Therefore, there was no electricity, no petrol, no diesel to run the vehicles, to run the economy. The businesses were crumbling. So one after the other, one blow after the other, the government has completely mismanaged the entire economy, and therefore we have come to a situation where there's nothing. People are the most tearful and most fearful thing is that the children in hospitals have no medicine, because we have to buy medicine from overseas, from the chemical companies that produce these medicines, and they don't have any money. So the children are dying in hospitals, and also in the cancer wards, the children have no medicine and they are suffering a lot. So our situation is terrible, and the whole country has risen up. The youth, they have said they are fed up with the 75 years after independence, all the leaders, what they have done to our country, created divisiveness among communities, created poverty, and then they became enriched with corruption, and there's no rule of law, meddling with the justice system and so on, and ensuring that the powerful people always got through these hurdles while the poor were suffering and so on. And this kind of situation cannot continue. So large numbers of youth have come to the streets and they are protesting, and the protests are increasing, and there's a likelihood that there will be massive stoppage of the entire system in the country, collapse. Yeah, but it's going in that direction. If the president and the others, in an honorable fashion, they leave and allow a neutral party to carry on with the government, the situation will ease off. But he is not willing, because they are very stubborn in their positions, and that is why it can lead to trouble between the people and the governing party. So far they have kept independent and they have not got involved. We hope that they will not get involved, because that's again a dangerous situation. We want democracy to continue, but at the same time we cannot allow the country to sink further, so that the people will have nothing to live on. It's 22 million people, so you can't just play havoc with that. So responsible government people must now step down and allow others to take over. Unless they make radical changes in the way they approach the issues, they will not survive. We are with the people. Our options are to stand with the people and help them, and also ensure that there is no violence, no bloodshed, but at the same time that rationally a change of position takes place. A change of government takes place, because the government has failed entirely. One of the things that they can do is to hold a referendum and check whether they are liked by the people. Of course, the answer will be no. So it's better for them to not to go for that, but to step down and allow a neutral party to run the country. The leaders of the Buddhist faith, the Mahanayakas, have appealed to that in that direction, and we have supported that strongly, and we continue to support the Buddhist community in this venture, because they are the majority community in Sri Lanka. International community should, on the one side, help the country to tide over some of these severe difficulties we are facing, but not by supporting the government. They must pressurize the government to leave in a dignified way, and then allow a kind of a neutral group to take over, as the Buddhist monks have suggested, a kind of a neutral, non-political group that can be entrusted with the authority to run the country.